What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's where we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:36 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. You know, really. By the way, welcome to the breakdown, episode 729. Okay, let me get this right. Yesterday, I made a video about my thoughts on the fight with Ilya and Justin, and I started. I'm cooking up in this video. And I say 2050, UFC 2050. And but the video at that moment was so good that, like, what am I supposed to do? I can't clip that out. You can't clip out reaction videos. That by the way, reaction videos are the best thing that has happened to X. So I made a reaction video. It got tons of views and likes and retweets, but you know, there's no middle ground. There are people that agree with me and disagree with me, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I gotta say, again, reaction video. Listen, this is right up my lane. I love doing, obviously, you know, I report on trending news. This is right up my alley. Yesterday, I also did one, like, right before I was heading off to bed. I did a reaction video about Jelly Roll. He's getting divorced from his wife, Bunny XO. Apparently, I didn't know the full details. People came into my DMs like, "Yo, listen, he's been, he's been cheating on her, and she was a sex worker or something." I don't know. Like they started just like like the entire social media community came into my DMs yesterday to let me know what the real deal is, and how dare I support, somebody like him or her, and it's weird. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown, sponsored by Midnight. Charles was on. I was watching Charles's stream today. I found it fascinating because Charles does make a point. And by the way, let me give a shout out to Polymarket, and we're gonna get to Polymarket because I want to talk about something that they did post. Cake Wallet. Hope Vic has a speedy. Vic, if you're watching, speedy recovery. I want to ask him if he busted his Achilles, but he's recovering. Hopefully, it's a speedy recovering. Shout out to Cake Wallet. Shout out to the Cake Wallet team. They're all over the place in Europe, man. It's actually cool to watch during the bear market. Just people product. It's dope. Quad Network. Shout out to you guys. Okay. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Jelly Roll. The frame. Like I posted this thing about Michael Saylor, how everybody was bitching. He sold 32 Bitcoin. He buys now 2 weeks in a row over 1,500 Bitcoin at a cheaper price, and people continue like he can't win with this crowd anyway. Which leads me back to Charles. Charles was talking about he said something about X that hit. It did hit. X is it's an announcement board. I think that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing. It's right. Like you come to X to make announcements, right? It's kind of like news. News breaks. You come to X to either to post it or to read about it. You're not going to be successful building your project on X. Now, I don't even think my connection's bad. What the fuck is going on? I see myself. Oh, let me look. Let me see this, man. Let me see. Instead of Landy telling me in the back that my connection is bad, no, he went right to the chat to let everybody know my connection's horrible. Thanks, Landy. What a friend. Why? It looks perfect. What are you talking about? It looks perfectly fine. Anyway. So, I do agree with Charles on that, and I like what he's doing with Cardano. He did this with Midnight. Charles took Midnight. He created a Discord. There's over 50,000 people on that Discord. I believe that's the count, 50,000 people. And to me, it's a better way of running a community. Some people will say that it's an echo chamber, but fuck it. I'd rather an echo chamber than being on X, respectfully. Building on X, that's a tough proposition. Because you have a bunch of people that the loudest voices are usually the negative ones. And it's absolutely difficult to build when you have a bunch of people that are just criticizing every move. And that negativity, that nastiness spills over. So you can be the most positive person in the world, but like at some point you crack. your ecosystem starts to crack because there's so much negative noise coming in. Because negative shit always is heard loud. That's why people fucking rage bait. Okay, nobody's coming out here. If you want engagement, you're not coming out here with positive stuff. Okay, positive stuff is not getting you engagement. You'll come out here with negative shit, right? You will. So like that's always the loudest. The negative voices within a community is always the loudest. So it's difficult because it starts to take a toll on the entire community, and then you have holes within the ship. So I agree with him where he wants to take, and I think every founder should do this, and even every personality or every company should do this. And I started to think about this. I'm like, I love X. Listen, I pay a lot of money per month to be on X. You know, $2,000 just off rip for, you know, the verified organization. But at some point you gotta move outside to a place, or you gotta move to a platform that will allow you to gather people that are interested in your product. And that's not saying, hey, we want to keep out anybody who's saying anything bad. No, like you can have these debates like adults and talk about things that you know, potentially you can make better within the company, within the project. But to have people behind a PFP and a fucking stupid ass name come out and consistently ruin the energy within your business, it's not good. So I understand him. And you know what? Maybe this is how we get a lot of these projects healthy, is moving away from X. I'm not saying leaving X. X can be used, again, for instantaneous news. You come to X. I think everybody comes to X to get their news. But building on X, I think that's done. I mean, like I don't see why you would build on X. You want to put again, repeating myself, you want to put information out here on X, that's fine. But to build on X is tough. It's really fucking tough. And this is not complaining. It's just like, hey, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, where do you want to build? I think you have to build your own platform. I'm talking about build your own platform and also have a platform where you can have most of your audience there, and you can speak to them on a daily basis, whether it's daily or monthly or weekly, whatever it is. I think that's the way to go, especially now. Again, I had that. So one of my reaction videos went viral. That was cool to see. I've been testing it out. I'm just fucking around with it. But again, this is right up my wheelhouse content, obviously, reporting on things that are trending and giving my opinions on them. But I talked about me thinking that Ilya is crazy for trying to ask for a rematch with Justin Gaethje. Like I think that's the wrong move. I mean, he destroyed this man. And I said this yesterday. He absolutely, he beat the fuck out of him. Like, to keep it 100, he just absolutely put that belt to his ass. And I don't think, like, somebody like, I've seen previous interviews of Ilya saying that if he ever lost, like, it's not, he didn't even mention the word losing. It would be like he failed, but he would learn, or lesson learned, and he would come back. And I get that, but the damage that he took was wild. That damage was wild. So my whole thing was, yeah, I put a little fucking sarcasm in it, and a lot of people on social media do not understand sarcasm. I had some crackheads try to come at me and just again, the slander is wild. You just write it down, or you have people writing all this down for you, and you take care of it when it's time to take care of it. But it's wild. It's wild. Um, that it's exactly what what I was getting at with building businesses. There's no conversation on social media. Like you can't win on here. You can't give your opinion. You can't have a debate like an adult on here because you have people just hiding behind screens, you know? And it's unfortunate. In real life, you're not gonna have people scream at you. They're not gonna tell you to go F your mother you're not gonna have these type of things happening in the real world. You have them I'm telling you, you can make if you make it on social media, you can make it anywhere type of thing. Because again, it's wild. Also, I am on Threads now. Um, there's a major difference in the algorithm on Threads and compared to X. Major difference. It's like if you really are producing great content, I feel like you're going to be seen on Threads and on Instagram. I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect here with X. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm sitting back. I'm looking at people who post. What are they doing that's getting them pushed? I'm not complaining about my engagement numbers, but my engagement was through the fucking roof when Jack was operating Twitter. So like I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. Like a certain people being catered to versus others. Like it's one of those things. Okay, the reaction videos, they're being pushed. You can see that the algorithm is pushing videos, especially reaction videos. I don't know about videos themselves, but reaction videos, yes. Because Gochstein Clips comes out with clips from this show all the time. And like sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't in the algorithm, but they'll do good elsewhere. So it's really weird. I don't know why I'm rambling right now and why I'm on this fucking monologue where it seems like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I'm not complaining because, well, I would think I'm giving really good feedback back to X. You need us. You need content creators like us. Look, this whole thing here, money has been invested into this. Everything that's done here, money has been invested into this. You're not paying for it. I am. And I'm coming onto your channel and I am giving you my content. Okay? I am giving you content where people can tune into this content. Some will see value in it and some won't. But it's still content that's being given to you. Somebody said something about Jack create a war on information, facts, and truth. Regardless of how I felt about not being able to really touch on COVID and talk about it because your account will get throttled or shadow banned. Not the point. My engagement, if I looked at my engagement from when Jack was running it versus X, and there's a huge difference. There is a absolutely huge difference. So again, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Look, I could say like this, and on Spaces, right? When Spaces first came out, only a few people were able to open up Spaces. I was one of the fortunate ones that was a part of a group that got Spaces. And every space that I had averaged literally 3,000 people and over. You opened up Spaces to everybody. You open up Spaces to everybody. Anybody can create a space. And what happens? You'll see if you can get 200 to 300 people. I mean, one of my largest spaces was 40 to 50,000. When the crypto market was absolutely thriving, I averaged 11,000 people in the space when Spaces first came out. X comes along, everybody gets a verified blue check mark, which You know, Elon doesn't believe in participation awards, and I don't believe in participation awards, but I view everybody having a verified badge as literally a participation award. They could have easily, if you wanted to verify these accounts, like if you wanted to really verify people's accounts, then just verify the accounts, verify the end user. You don't need to give a blue check mark. But this whole participation, everybody gets an award kind of thing, it sucks because there are notable people, whether they're famous within their niche or they're just a household name, work their asses off to get that blue check mark without paying for it because they've had enough content out there, whether they were on Fox News, Sky News, whatever, Bloomberg, Business Insider. Like, you are in these publications or you are on these, you know, television shows that you became a notable figure within your space. I'm talking about myself here now. Like that's how, you know, they applied that check mark because besides that, I also ran for office. I ran for office and all that together gave me the blue check mark. And I didn't abuse it. I didn't abuse it at all. I think honestly they need to go back to that system. They need to go back to the system where people who are notable either within their niche or household names, they get the check marks. Now, if you want to give people some sort of mark on their profile, then create a different mark that says, hey, you like sort of like user paid for it or whatever, or verified user. That would help. That would really help separate everything, make it a lot easier. Honestly, like I actually want Twitter 1.0 back in terms of the algorithm. So Threads, you're on Threads, and like Threads reminds me, it gives me a similar vibe to what Twitter used to be. And that is like the algorithm does see you. So I'm on Threads also. I'm on X, I'm on Threads. Listen, I post on Getter and Truth Social also, but like at the end of the day, like those are my main two right now. And I'm having a lot of fun. Again, the reaction videos, I'll do more of them today. I'm striving to do 2 or 3 per day. I don't want to really just destroy my timeline full of videos, but and that's another thing too. You know, Twitter was a place, or X was, I guess, Twitter, X, whatever, was a place you would come to post things, post your thoughts quick. 280 characters, right? Quick thoughts, boom, blast. Now it's turning, I get the everything app. I respect it, but it's just like, man, like the good old days, posting quick thoughts, people having a conversation. People became visual. I get it. That's why TikTok's successful. By the way, I'm banned for 30 days off of TikTok. I'm banned on Reach Phone, and people can watch me, but I refuse to do it through the phone. I'd like to go ahead and make sure that Restream is where we go ahead and stream this show to. So I might rethink that decision though too. I might rethink it. I'm just a little bit pissed off because I don't know what the fuck was said. I don't know what the fuck was done to have it taken off a Restream. It's so weird. They take it off a Restream, but I mean, all access on your phone. Kind of weird. Very weird. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown. Let's break this down real quick. Let's break this down real quick. All right. Trump says Trump says 99.9% of what he wants. There have been reports that have been coming out. Man, this is, you know what sucks right now? I'll tell you what sucks about this war. What sucks about this war is it's making me say things that are highly critical of Trump right now. Because if any of this shit is true, in terms of we're giving $300 billion to Iran to rebuild their infrastructure, I'm going to be pissed off. I will be pissed off. And Landy's typing already in the green room, but for me, I hope these are just narratives that are being pushed out by fucking foreign agents onto the timeline. I hope they're not true. Okay. But if we're giving money to Iran, like, what do we really do? I'll say it this way. I'll say it differently. Here's how I'll put it. We have a superior military. Like, we have the best military in the world. In my humble opinion, we don't need to be doing these things. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Rob. This is the worst thing is that I am agreeing with Rob Nelson, who you can go ahead and catch on this network Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Rob Nelson Show. I can't believe that I'm... Okay. Again, Polymarket, shout out to Polymarket. Go to polymarket.com. Polymarket is at, hold on. Polymarket is at a 94% chance that the deal text is released this month. Let's go to Polymarket real quick for, hold on. Okay, so there's a 4% chance that this deal is signed in general in Switzerland by Friday. A 4% chance. This is... Okay, anyway. This is why I go to Polymarket. I look at... Polymarket is right a lot of the time. Polymarket is right on the button. We have the greatest military in the world. The United States of America has the greatest military in the world. There is nobody that comes close. Okay? I know that the perception that you guys might have from mainstream media, from all these liberal channels, is China and Russia. No. Russia can't beat... Okay, let's break it down. Russia can't beat Ukraine. Russia is out there with using tanks from 1960. Okay, Russia is... They should have wiped the floor with Ukraine, but they didn't. So forget about Russia being the superpower. They're not. They don't have enough money to keep up with their maintenance. They got like, how many fighter jets do they have? Like fucking 3. Okay? I think Canada has more. China, it all looks good. They're also, their economy is about to go to shit. My thing here is with, and there's a lot of misinformation that goes out there onto social media. So I'm not, but if we're going to give Iran any money, there's two forms here. I know Marco Rubio said that going to release. Connecting here. Why am I fucking disconnecting here? Anyway, if we give them a sense, in my eyes, I will see this. Take out. What the fuck is happening today, man? Am I really going in and out? It can't be my connection. I just tested my connection, man. I've literally tested my connection. It cannot be my connection. And this is fucking restream, bro. Yeah, definitely not my connection. This is restream. This is definitely fucking, bro. This is definitely restream. I'm looking at my connection. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine here. Is Twitter working for anybody, by the way? Is X working for anybody? Okay, I can't stop and go like this. It is what it is, man. If you guys can't see me here, you can go on to YouTube and check me out there. But I don't know. This is a whole restream problem. Anyway, I'm not dramatic at all. I speak. First of all, these are my opinions. And that doesn't mean that I'm always right, but these are my fucking opinions. Yeah, I'm only cutting out because it's a restream. I am on a roll. It's like fucking people are praying. People are selling their soul to the. Anyway, if we went into Iran to destroy, and obviously we destroyed their nuclear capabilities and all that stuff. Okay. We've, from everything that's absolutely taking them completely out. We've 95% of Iran, the leadership and all has been taken out. Military, from the military side, and it's been all taken out. 5% left. Then why don't we just go ahead and just take that out as well? Why are we making it? How is this better? And I'm sure Landy's going to get into an argument with me, but like this, because I'm a fucking proud Republican. I'm a MAGA guy, and I'm sitting here fucking not a panicking or anything like that. I'm just, because that's what happens when you disagree with your own party. Right away, you're labeled something. Like, I'm just sitting back here and thinking, were to give them money, then what is the difference? What is the difference between what Obama and Biden did versus this? Like, I agree with, we took out their nuclear capability, 100% agree with that. We showed the world that they're a bunch of liars. We also went in there to go ahead and strangle, China. So I agree with these. From that perspective, I agree. I'm all for that. Because we know what China was trying to do. They were trying to take over the fucking world, take away the label of superpower, leading superpower away from the United States of America and taking it on themselves. But this with Iran, like, if we have them in the corner right now, we can make sure they go down. and put new leadership in there. And why would we? As soon as we give them money for infrastructure, it's not going to infrastructure. It's going into these terrorist organizations going to just cause havoc across the fucking entire region. I don't. This is the only part because at the end of the day, then this is what the Democrats are going to use as a talking point. They're going to say, look, Trump went in exactly what the Democrats are in, and look, essentially all they did here was we wasted more money and we got a worse deal. That's what the Democrats are going to say. But again, I hope all this news that's being, I hope it's all bullshit. Because if it's not, I will absolutely, I don't give a fuck, be livid with this shit. %100% be livid with it. I'm honestly going to say that it was, if what, and I don't believe social media until I see, and I haven't believed everything. Honestly, at this point, it's what I put out there as a reaction fucking tweet. Every day, like there's a deal, there's no deal. Until there's a deal, until this guy, the supreme leader, comes along with he's missing 2 legs and an arm. Once I see them at a table in Switzerland, that's when I believe this shit. Like, until then, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything. Zilch, zero. Okay? Bottom line. And I don't care. I don't care. I will battle. I will talk about this, battle about this. I don't care. Meme coins. And I'm sure I will be the fucking, I'm sure I'm going to be the buy signal right now. But I will say I'm very disappointed in the meme economy. I think that the current participants have destroyed the meme economy. We said yesterday that $18 billion out of the $30 billion market cap, $18 billion is held by Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. There's not enough liquidity, and it's just high rotation. That's why not a single meme can go ahead and really pass 10 million and hold. People are not holding here. People are taking money, going to the next one, trying to make more money, next one, more money. And it's totally fucking killed the meme economy. 100%. Destroyed it. Do memes make a older, some sort of lore to them? But as for everything else, I don't believe in it. And I think that it's time to just look at the utility plays. I really believe it's time to look. I am doing that regardless. I don't give a fuck what anybody does. I'm just telling you, I think it's time that people look at the utility plays that could be solving a real use case beyond Web3. That's it. That's my line of thinking here. So people might not like that. Okay, people might not like that answer, but it's a truthful answer. Okay, how can I tell you that I'm bullish on memes when nobody can fucking hold, and there's PvPing and people just fucking being nasty and slant? Like, it is not a good environment. And the cabal is the only, I'm gonna tell you like this. There's probably 11 people in a fucking chat that are close to all these fucking platforms that are making money. The platforms, like I said, the platforms like Pump.Fun, they're making money, you're not. Okay, bottom line. The products are making money, you're not making money. Okay, and a few of them know a few of the people out here, and people that know what the fuck is going on and are in the in. They're making money. The meme economy, honestly, I thought the meme economy, so we went from the meme economy 1.0 to 2.0. 3.0 has been a disaster. I'm thinking we're going higher, higher, higher. It has been an absolute disaster. And the only thing you can really look at is, hey, look at the ones that actually have a team behind them, have been continuing to brand and market, because the rest of this shit is garbage. It is absolute garbage. Even the memes with history behind them, they have people who have completely destroyed them. They don't take it seriously. Utility plays, Chainlink. Like I'm just saying Chainlink as an example. These things, like Chainlink, for instance, they're in bed with the White House. I mean, how am I going to go against Chainlink? What is it at 7 and change right now? I'll look it up with G Markets, but I don't. It hit $50 a fucking coin. I mean, why would I not go with Chainlink? Why would I go with some dog shit, doo-doo, dick in the butt thing that just can't? No. You guys killed, you honestly, and you allowed this to happen. A lot of you veterans allowed this bullshit fuckery to happen. I'm fucking furious, man. Because when I went out there talking about memes, when memes weren't cool, when NFTs weren't cool, when I was talking about this, not in Web3, I'm talking about this when mainstream media, with news outlets and fucking news outlets, okay? Media outlets, newspaper outlets, like, talking to these people, and I'm telling them, like, Dogecoin really does bring people into the motherfucking space. You guys have absolutely destroyed all of that. And the audacity to blame anybody. Fuck you, motherfuckers. You hurt the meme economy. I can't stand you, motherfuckers. I would go into Bitcoin Maxi rooms to talk about memes and how they onboard people. I use Dogecoin, obviously, as the main example of how it can go ahead and allow people to understand how crypto works. Besides just onboarding it, you had dealerships accepting Dogecoin as a payment to buy a vehicle. Y'all ruined all this. You fuckers ruined everything. That's the sad part. Y'all, honestly, with your fucking greed, ruined everything. By the way, I gotta say, here's my face. Doing those reaction videos, the lighting is really off. So, like, you gotta have really good lighting to do it. Because, like, here I am. Here's the light. Look, here I am. This is me. Black hair. Yeah, over here, I got crypto. I'm gonna call it crypto gray. I got a few gray over here because of you. I have to come on here and listen to the bullshit that you guys talk about. And I refuse to use just for men. Really, I'm honestly devastated. Because I was talking about the meme economy can have $900 billion market cap in total. Like, I said these things. You had Van Eyck that came out with the meme index. It was like, oh my God, look at these things that are happening. People see exactly, like, there are others that see it. And you motherfuckers came in here and ruined it. These fucking Fortnite motherfuckers, bro, came in here and ruined everything. And y'all allowed this to happen. I blame you, motherfuckers. I don't mind the salt and pepper. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. That's how I'm feeling today. That is how I'm feeling today, okay? The plays are build the foundation. I know a lot of you motherfuckers do not have a good portfolio. I can tell by the way you tweet how nervous you are on the time. Bet the whole house on. I'm just saying, here's your chance to cut losses and go into some real shit. And then in the next 4 to 5 months, watch your portfolio become healthy. Okay. Watch it become very, very healthy. And fuck what anybody on social media says. Fuck what I say. I'm just telling you, here is your chance, though, to right your wrongs and get into things that it will send, that will have a better, or at least have an opportunity to get into something that has a better chance of working out. Welcome to the breakdown. Before we continue, I just want to say 2 things. One, because there's a lot of people going around DMing people that they're a part of Gokhshtein Media. No. Okay? No. They're not wearing a badge, and if they're not on the team page, which we don't have a team page, if they're not Landy, if they're not Rob, if they're not Taylor, if they're not Julie, they're not a part of G Media. So, respectfully. So if you get a DM from anybody and they claim that they're a part of Gokhshtein Media, they're not a part of Gokhshtein Media. And you should contact at Gokhshtein. Okay? You should contact the Twitter account or the X account and let us know or confirm that said person is working with Gokhshtein Media. Okay? I've been getting like fucking DMs saying like, hey, like, is this person? No, that person isn't. He or she isn't, unless obviously, of course, they have a badge, affiliation badge with them, or you should confirm who the fuck you're talking to. So you can reach out to the company and confirm. I do that. Tristan was on here saying like he didn't believe it was me. He confirmed it through 9 channels that it was me trying to get him on here for an interview. So that, and what the fuck else did I want to say? I don't know. I'll fucking remember it. I got so much shit on my mind that I want to fucking talk about. And plus, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, man, this is a gorgeous motherfucker. Anyway, let's bring in Landy. Because I'm sure Landy wants. I mean, at this point, Landy can say whatever he wants, and I love him and I respect him, but it doesn't matter. That's how I feel about the situation with Iran. What's going on, Landy? My fucking nose is
Hello, sir.
a sunburn, bro.
What's up? Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of fake news out there regarding the Iran situation, potential deal, and that kind of stuff. For instance, one of the major things that you're talking about in terms of funds was floated by the GCC. A lot of people don't know what the GCC is. That's the Gulf Coast Coalition. That's Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. They're the ones that are floating that if the United States terms are met for the deal, that there is a potential that they would contribute. They haven't even committed to this, that they would contribute to reconstruction. And the number that was floated out there was 300 billion. That's got nothing to do with the U.S. And it apparently is contingent on the U.S. Negotiations working out. Because Saudi Arabia and UAE wanted the U.S. to continue to strike. But they're the ones between the coalition of the Gulf states that are proposing reconstruction. So it's actually not
But
the
Landy,
US.
at the end of the day, if it's the United States that prints that money,
It's not.
this will be no better. I'm just saying in general, it's my opinion. I'm not saying it's factual. I just said way before you came on here, a lot of people, a lot of these bots and a lot of these fucking organizations will push misinformation out there. I'm
They
saying
already
in
are.
general, if we give them any sort of money, this would be a huge failure. That's it.
Well,
And I don't give, and nobody's going to take me off of that line.
I think that there's a few things that need to really be understood, though, right now. This is an MOU. This isn't even a peace agreement
Correct.
or anything like that. An MOU, for those that maybe are not in the sphere of politics. An MOU is a memorandum of understanding. Um, and the way that the US has laid this out is that there is an incentive based plan that they are asking Iran to sign, essentially, and that they've claimed that Iran has committed to something like, I don't know, 99% of or whatever. The big thing is, um, the very first, and I discussed this with Rob yesterday, the very first checklist item that they have is kind of an item that we in the US have total control over, and that's the Schrodinger's Strait. Is it open or is it closed? Um, for the entire time that the United States was like, oh, yeah, they're closing the strait. We're blaming them for closing the strait. It's really, it's us. It's between the insurance companies and our fleet out there. And during that entire time, during this period where and I discussed this with you at the very beginning of the war, that we're going to be escorting ships through. And now we know for a fact that we have been escorting ships through. There was 100 billion barrels of oil. I think it's now up to like 100 million. Sorry. It's like up to like 120 million now that has gone through the strait, primarily with escorts from the US. So, look, I've discussed this with you on Friday with Rob. The the big thing here is that um, Iran really lost control of the strait, which is why they then began to threaten right before these meetings. They began to threaten the Red Sea, and that was propaganda and stuff about hitting or striking into the Red Sea, which obviously would encompass strikes towards Saudi Arabia and their oil infrastructure there. So memorandum of understanding that is incentive based for 60 days to have these checkpoints met is how it's being framed right now. Obviously, nothing is officially signed, as you said. Like nothing is objectively changed. Um, the administration here has already said, like, we know that they're not trustworthy. Our fleet isn't moving.
Landy,
Our military
would you be
positioning isn't
upset if
moving.
they gave them money?
If the United States directly gave them money, yeah, I'd be upset. Yes, sir.
What are the chances that the United States gives them money, even through other channels?
I think that it's very low. I think that the only time that they would even consider anything there, especially like U.S. corporations moving in to help with a rebuild in conjunction with like the GCC, I think the only realistic scenario is that they allow United States and IAEA in to begin to evaluate and then start to remove and destroy the nuclear material. This is something that is, I think, the main sticking point, and I think there's multiple reasons why this will be the thing that collapses this entire deal anyway. I don't think that that's going to happen. Here's why, and I floated this to Rob yesterday. I said, if I'm the IRGC, what I would want to do is gain more leverage because they lost leverage over the strait. I know that people think like, no, Iran's powerful. They're controlling. No, they're not. They're not. And that's just a fact that they're not. We wouldn't have seen the oil move through. And for those of us that were actually watching some of the shipping and where some of these things were coming into port, I said the entire time, oil's been moving. And you need no further proof than to look at oil prices continuing to come down even when tensions were high. And obviously, nothing was moving when there was kinetic action from the United States. But since that has subsided, things started moving through the strait again. So they don't really have any chips left, right? So that's why they started to threaten the Red Sea. But if I'm Iran and I want to be, in control or gain some leverage in this situation, what I would do, and this is the fear of mine personally, is I would allow IAEA international inspectors and US personnel on the ground in, and then I would take them hostage and then utilize them as a bargaining chip. And that's what, if I was Iran, I would do. Now, I'm not giving them any advice. I'm sure that these are things that they're already talking about, though. And so I really don't see a scenario where it's safe for international agencies and the U.S. personnel to be on the ground there. Um, so I don't see this deal actually coming to fruition. That's actually what I don't see it coming to fruition. I don't see the United States gaining access to that nuclear material. I don't think Iran's going to give that up. That is their only chip that they hold right now. They don't have control of the strait. They don't have the assets to control the strait. They have threats, which can raise insurance costs, and they have some small measure of fast boats that they can use to essentially act like Somali pirates. But they're at that point they're more of a nuisance than any kind of a power in the area. And most of the leverage that they have would come from anything that they can get in terms of United States personnel or international personnel on the ground there. I really do believe that that would be. I think that this is a tinderbox. Um,
Why do I
so
have this feeling that, why do I have this feeling that Trump or the administration is going to send them money? And, the way I'm thinking about this is
because that's
either
what the
they
news
send them
media
money.
keeps saying.
No,
Because
no,
they
no, no,
want to
no, no,
paint,
no.
they want to paint it over as an Obama era
No, no, no. I
um,
don't care. I don't give a fuck what the media is
situation.
saying. I could care less what the media says. I don't believe the media.
Yeah, but that's exactly where this news is coming from. In
No, but
fact, Gulf
I can
states
see
haven't
it.
even confirmed any of this. We only heard about this in
But I
terms
can
of
see
the
it. But
fund
I can
from
see it
JD.
happening. I can see it happening from either the United States sends money and they frame it as, well, it's they frame. You know what it is? Marco Rubio said this at a Senate hearing where he was like,
The White House did not say that the U.S. is giving
no,
them
but
money. They explicitly said that they would not.
Rubio said that there is money that they would release to Iran. There's two. I forgot what he said. I got to read back up on it because I don't want to just put information out there that isn't factual. But I remember him saying there's two types of funds here, and one of them they would release if a deal was if a deal came about with Iran, as long as they surrender this, that, and whatever, as long as they
Yeah, the
meet
nuclear
the United
material
States' deal, they would.
specifically is what he
Say that
stated, that
again.
they would have to surrender. They'd have to meet the checkpoint of surrendering nuclear material,
But it
and it
was
would
something
be
about we would give them
frozen
back their own
assets.
money.
It would be frozen assets from the Treasury that they would release.
Didn't we do? Didn't Obama do the same thing?
No, no, he lifted sanctions, not because what we
But
didn't
Rubio
actually
said the
freeze
same
their
thing. We will lift
line.
sanctions, though.
No, there's a difference, and this is where the optics for the United States and low information
No, no,
really
no. Hold
does.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, Landy. It's not. It's not people being stupid. I
Yes, it is
listened to
people being
Rubio.
stupid.
No, but it's Rubio who said it. It's not. It's not media. It's Rubio.
Okay, the condition here is nuclear concessions are met, that they would
Okay,
give them sanctions relief specifically from the Treasury seized assets.
but Trump said we're not even giving them a dime, regardless. We're not giving them their money, or nothing is being given to them. That's what Trump's administration was saying.
That's what Trump has said directly. Yeah.
So,
I,
but
I think
if
that
these
there's a
things are now
battle
met, we give
between
them the money. So this is no better than, like, Landon. Let's look at it and say we can agree that that's stupid.
I would agree that it is not what I would want to see. Yeah.
Okay, so then what was? So here's my thing. It's not me bashing Trump or the administration, but what was the point?
Oh, in fact, no. In fact, I think we're both wrong. Um,
I wasn't wrong when I was listening to Rubio. I just don't have the full text, but I remember him saying we would unfreeze their own money when he was. I forgot the question was asked by, I think it was Tim Kaine that asked him the question, and he said, "This is how we would go about it." Actually, no, it was Chris Murphy from New Jersey, I think. Senator Murphy from New Jersey asked him, and he said, "Well, there's 3 stages and 3 phases of this to get this done," and he broke it down. So to me, it's like, what do we do here? Like, okay, fine. The things that I like is that we choked out China because, in my eyes, China was trying to take over everything, and we kind of, I believe, we broke China in some way, along with Russia. But if we're going to do the same thing that Obama and Biden, whoever did, I mean, just like, but we're doing it in a different way and it's worded differently. I mean, we didn't like
Well,
the only
the
thing we
conditions
accomplished
that
is
he
getting
laid
rid of
out, the conditions that he laid out are that IAEA and the United States are a part of bringing down any or spinning down any nuclear processes, and then agreeing to the nuclear concessions, and then the destruction of nuclear material. So when he was answering this, it was specifically tied to the frozen funds out of Qatar. And here's why. So it looks like Qatar is the one that is floating this as they want they would only release this as part of reconstruction funds through the
Yeah,
GCC
then why did
the
Rubio say it?
GCC. Because look,
But Rubio didn't say Qatar. He said
no,
we would
it's
release
tied
their own.
that money apparently that he was referencing is held by Qatar right now. Is from what I'm seeing here. And look, I don't think that this is an Obama era-esque deal because of the Obama administration did not have any forceful action on the other side to actually make sure that the deal was fulfilled. Now, I don't want to see them get any money for anything under any circumstances. Um, I don't want to see them get any reconstruction money. You know, if you want to rebuild, you make the concessions, you allow the destruction of the nuclear material and removal of it and continued inspections by the United States and international organizations. And if you want to rebuild your economy, you do it through business yourself, not through handouts from GCCC, through sanctions relief. The sanctions relief would have to come from you doing business. So your boats carrying oil, anybody coming in and out of Karg Island and surrounding areas would have to be dealing in the U.S. dollar directly, bring you into that system. That's the way that I would want to see it done. But no, absolutely no money changing hands. Like you would get the ability to trade your oil in U.S.
Here,
dollars, and that's it.
this is what Rubio said at the Senate. I
I'm
just
looking at the quote.
He said right now everything that's been discussed with them is and them is Iran is that any sanction relief is condition based, which means it has to be in return for the reason why those sanctions were put in place in the first place, which is their nuclear program.
Yeah.
Iran is being sanctioned because they've highly enriched uranium. Iran is being sanctioned because of their nuclear activities. They agree to give up those things. There will be sanction relief associated with their commitment and compliance with those agreements.
Yeah.
So to me,
So Snowman, the United States played a role in the rise of the ROGC, but in reality, it was a combination of Britain and Europe through um, through the build out of radical Islamic and funding of radical Islamic organizations that facilitated it, and it was Saudi undercutting them and collapsing their economy that brought the Shah down and led to the revolution. Now, granted, yes, there was a lot of American involvement there, but you got to remember that it was British petroleum there. There was a lot of influence from Europe in that area, not necessarily the United States, although the United States and Europe are allies and played a
well,
role.
here's a good thing to here. Rubio did not announce, endorse, or describe any unconditional or upfront release of funds money to Iran. Discussions centered around sanction relief, which could indirectly allow economic benefits, oil revenue, or third country releases of frozen Iranian assets,
Yeah.
being contingent on nuclear rollback and compliance, not as a standalone concession for the stray access or for ceasefire signing bonus.
Yeah.
Um,
Snowman says Hillary gave them uranium. I think that this has a lot to do with Hillary and Obama, and I think that they actually want to get the uranium because I think they want to prove where it came from. To be quite honest, if you look at the way that the administration is framing it, it's like they're trying to set up Obama for the fall on this one, both Obama and Hillary, because we know that they facilitated the the um, the actual uranium into the country. We know that that's something that for those that are interested in, you can go back to um, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks to read some of that. But yeah, yeah. I mean, he helped them build they didn't have nuclear material before that.
Landy, I can even
just
Landy, when you're right on something, I know how like confident you are. We've been obviously having conversations for a really long time. You're not confident on this one.
On this one, yes, I am.
No. From a perspective of, that might be the wrong word. You're phrasing it, but we know what the truth is here. This is no different than like I'm literally sitting here and I'm reading the text here, and this is no different than what I hated that Obama did and Biden did.
How? Did we have military assets ready to strike them at any moment under Obama? There's no way to enforce what Obama did.
Who has the most powerful military in the world?
We do. Did Obama use it?
Hold on, forget about Obama. I'm talking about us right now. We have the most
powerful. You just compared it to no better.
I'm gonna compare it. Are you ready? I will compare it.
Go ahead.
We have the most powerful military in the world. We went ahead and took action. Obama didn't, right? We went in and took action on Iran, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What is your point?
My point is, all the conversations about Iran is done and cooked. Well, look at the situation. They're not done and cooked.
You don't even know who's in power over there.
Exactly, my point. And maybe that's one of the reasons why.
Do you think that the U.S. government doesn't know who's got the keys?
I don't think they know either.
I
think they understand this. I think the United States of America understands there's different leadership and different voices within that leadership. I think that's what they understand, and that's what I would understand. That there's the way they set everything up. There's 31 different fucking clans within this fucking regime. That if one goes, another one takes over. Like, I think they
purposefully decentralized to
correct. Yeah. Okay, but they knew that. So, like,
of course,
Iran has the ball in the court.
No, they
unless
don't.
the United States goes ahead and just wipes them out, which would probably be the better choice here right now.
Here's my question to you then. Do you think for 1 second that if they do not comply, because would you agree that that Trump and the administration's messaging has been that they should and will not be allowed to have any nuclear weapons? Do you agree that statement is true?
Yeah, I think the entire world would agree that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They're a terrorist. They're not, I don't want to say they're a terrorist country because the people are good. It's just that they are ran by a terrorist regime. So yes,
the theocracy.
Those terrorists cannot go ahead and obtain a nuclear weapon because it would be horrific for the entire world. Forget about just the United States of America.
My follow-up to you is, do you think that if they do not give back or do not give up the nuclear material and do not spin down that program, do you think that the United States is just going to let them continue?
Landy,
do you believe that?
The terrorists are going to continue.
No. I'm asking. No, this is a very straightforward question. If they continue with their nuclear ambitions, do you think the United States is going to let them? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Well, here's where
I don't even know how to answer that right now. After reading all the
know?
Stuff that's coming out, like again, like
Look at part of the. Here's the point in the terms that the United States has put out.
As a normal human being who reports on this stuff, you're interested obviously in this stuff. You got to
Yeah.
take all this. I'm not saying all this shit, all the information that's put out there is real, but I'm not a part of the administration. I'm not in the briefing room. I don't know what the fuck is going
Sure.
on.
Yeah,
And
but
I
you
told Rob the same thing. I
okay,
don't
but
like when Rob.
let me ask you about evidence then.
Hold
We
on,
have
hold on. What I'm saying
no,
is,
not
I'm
gonna hold
taking
on
the
because you're
information
missing
that's out there
something.
and saying, if this were the case, I'm not saying it is the case. I'm saying if this were the case, then this is a major fail. This is not a
This
win.
is that okay. First
If
off,
you believe
are you
giving
ignoring are you going
unfreezing
to
money and
ignore
giving it to Iran, giving them more money, and we know what they're
no,
going
no,
to do with the money
you're
is a
moving
win,
away
it's
from what I
crazy.
asked you. You're on to the next thing.
I'm
So,
not.
yes, you are because you're
Okay.
skipping
I
over the
answered your
main
first thing. I
point.
said, I don't know.
You're missing the main point. We have not moved military assets. In fact, we've been building up more military assets as this meeting supposedly approaches on Friday, right? So there's a big difference between not having military assets and capabilities. And what did they say? Until they actually meet any, because we know that they can't be trusted, military assets aren't moving. We are going to keep military assets there. So my question to you then is, do you actually believe that if they say, no, we're going to sign this agreement, we're not going to do what we said we're going to do, that the military assets are just going to leave? Or are they going to stay there? And if they stay there, what's
Landy,
the
it's
purpose of
great
them
that we
staying
are
there?
refueling and that we are building up our assets in that region.
I'm not off on this
They're
one
not
because
scared.
you're
Then
missing the point.
okay, we are going against people that
You
are
saying
not.
if, and you're
No, you're
ignoring
breaking me every time I talk. You break in, like, bro. Like I'm telling
because
you,
you're not answering the question.
Iran, Iran is not scared of a human being or a country on this planet. They are willing to die.
If you
How
believe
do
that
you
to be
fight?
true,
I'm telling you, this is a reason why a lot of presidents. Okay, I'm just shooting the shit with you. Okay, like this is just. I'm not. I'm not blaming Trump for anything. Okay, I'm just shooting the shit
no,
with
no,
you.
no. This has nothing to do with that.
Okay,
I'm
I'm telling
asking you a
you
simple
when
question.
you're going against somebody that's willing to die and you're not. Okay, because that's the situation. I don't give a fuck how anybody wants to frame it. These people are willing to die. We're not.
Are you going to answer my question? You
I'm
proposed
answering it
an
to
if.
you. This is a. You are telling me that they're fueling up and they're reloading in the region,
They've
correct?
been doing it the entire time.
Great. Where's bridges and fucking power plants at?
Yeah, but this is no, no, no. I asked
It's
you a
the
very
same thing.
simple
It's just like
question,
they're
and
not
you are
scared.
straying from the
They're
topic.
not scared,
By
Landy. They're
your
not
measure
scared.
by your measure, you said to me that they are so hardcore that they're not going to comply with any type of an agreement. My simple question to you is, do you think that they're gonna get away with doing that when we
Yes.
have the
Yes.
military right there? So you think we're just not gonna do anything about it? We're just
I
gonna go,
think
"Up,
we are
you know
just
what? Let's
we're
move
gonna do the
CENTCOM
same
out."
thing we done. Look, we're gonna do the same shit that we have been doing, and that's it. Like
How do you
you
know
want
that?
to,
How do you
Landy,
know
you
that?
want to, you know what? The
That's an
fear
if.
of God, I'm gonna tell you where the fear of God strikes them. Which is really like I can't even say that because they don't fear anything. But
Really?
at the end of
They
the end
don't
of the
even
day,
adhere to their own theocracy. They send all their kids to London to get
but they don't
educations, and they don't follow any
they
of
don't
their
fear
hardcore
anything. Landy, I'm telling you, these people do not like I'm talking Iran is full of the leaders are
are
absolutely
full of shit.
no, they're not.
Yes,
They
they
can send
are.
their kid. Okay. If you
Why
believe
did they send their kids to Western nations to be educated
respectfully,
and live?
respectfully, I kind of understand that region. So I'm
So
going
do
to tell
I.
you, they
So
fear
do I.
nobody.
Very much so. So I my question to you is, if they're so hardcore, how come they're not insular and they send their kids to Western nations to be
That's
educated? They don't follow
different.
any of the
That's
rules
different.
that they want to lay out for their own people.
Landy,
If you're
Landy,
not that hard line, if you're allowing your own family members and you
Landy,
yourself as the son of the Ayatollah to go and live in London and be educated in London, not wear your garb, not keep your women to that standard, how hardcore are you really at
Landy,
the
you
end of
know
the
what?
day?
I think I have a really good thought on why they send people outside of Iran or other Middle Eastern countries. Okay, and I think anybody who has heard me just now just make that statement would understand why. Just look at these other
Yeah,
countries and what's happening. There is a bigger agenda here at play.
I agree.
It's
That's one
not
part of it.
them being stuck in Iran does nothing towards meeting their goals and quotas. Okay? So why do they send their kids out there? It's to go ahead and continue to obviously try to take over the world. It's that fucking simple.
You you say this, yet the the goal of radical Islamist theocracies there, your contention is that if they have their strings cut, that they will remain hardcore and they can outlast anyone else. That's been the contention from you and Rob. Your contention is that they're not going to live up to any deal. So my point to you is that's why our military isn't moving. That's why there is no drawdown in assets in the area and why those assets are going to stay in that area, because if they violate the agreement, it's bombing time again. That's all. That's what I'm saying to you. And you're saying that's
Landy,
not going to happen because you've already seen into the future apparently.
I am telling you before, by the way, Big Unk is me and him started the breakdown. Shout out to Big Unk.
Yeah.
We never agree on well, maybe 5% of the time. We agree on things, but and I'll bring him in, and hopefully we can get Rob. This will be a good. I think this will be a good segment with a bunch of different opinions on things.
No, it's the three of you against me. That's all.
No, it's not. First of all, I'm not against you.
Yes, actually, you are making the contention, and you
I
don't
am
want to
telling
see
you,
the
you're
other
not.
side of
You know
the
what it is?
argument.
You're so stuck on your. Big Unk is going to come in here and tell you how hardcore of a Republican I am.
I don't care how
Which,
hardcore of a
no,
Republican you are.
it's just funny.
It
You
doesn't
can't
matter.
criticize if we cannot
I
criticize our
am
own
critical.
party.
The fact of the
No, we're
matter is
not.
you're
We're not. Never
ignoring
on this
and
show are we critical of
you're
the government.
ignoring reality in favor of what is.
No, I'm not ignoring you. I am telling you, I am from that region. Like there's DNA from that region. They
Yes.
don't give a fuck.
Okay. So
Their
my
plan
point
is
to
so
you is
sophisticated.
then the
They got
deal's not going
such.
to work,
They
right?
have a very sophisticated game plan.
What are you
Okay.
trying to convince me of? What are
I'm
you
trying to tell
convince
you.
me of?
All I said in the beginning was I'd be really disappointed if we did all this and then we hand them money. That
I agreed with you. I didn't disagree
okay?
with
So
you.
I didn't have no battle with you on that.
But my point to you is that there you are assuming something that has not happened.
I told you, I gave you an opinion. I didn't say
Yeah.
this is happening. I said if this were to be the case, I'd be absolutely disappointed because there's no way for me to defend this. Even if I want to battle with somebody or debate somebody, how did I can't defend it. It's the same thing that Obama did. Yet it cost us more money. What is it? Just a stamp that Trump did it? That this administration put the plan in? Like
I
that
just disagree fundamentally because Obama didn't park an armada out the doorstep to actually enforce anything. There was no enforcement to that agreement. That's where I disagree with you. That's
no
simply
president,
what it
no,
is.
no president, whether Republican or Democrat, wanted to fuck with Iran. I respect Trump for going in there and taking out those nukes. But we heard it like I told you last time. The first time they went in there and did the operation, apparently it was all taken out. 6 months later, it had reappeared.
They didn't reappear. They started
just
to
saying,
actively uncover the material. Yeah.
That's the way it's presented.
Yeah.
And we go back in there, and now it's this. And then if we give them money, it's just like you can't talk shit
But
about
you're
Obama.
hung up on money so much that
Yes,
has
I
not
am, because
transferred.
that money is going to they're
You're
going to
you're
take that money and give it
you're
to
literally
Hamas and
taking
Hezbollah and all of them.
but you're taking what has been denied by the administration as a fact that will happen, that somehow they're going to get money for nothing is essentially what your point is at the end of the day. Because if you're going to compare it to Obama, they're getting money for nothing in return. And even if they were to get money, if they were to get money, your contention is that it's just like what Obama did. There's no enforcement. They're going to continue to build. They're going to outlast this administration. It's the same talking points that Rob has. My contention is that you don't park an armada out there, refuse to move it until all of the nuclear material is drawn down and destroyed, and all of these different checkpoints and incentives that are built into this MOU are met. You don't just you would walk away if it was going to be like Obama.
Landy, but think about what you're saying.
Without the
You park all this stuff outside their house. That's
Yeah.
costing us money every single day.
Yeah.
Just hear me out.
It's going to cost us money to keep them there anyway, and they're
No, but
not.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying in
Spend time
general.
after
We have everything parked outside their house. It's costing us money. Okay. When you look at what Obama, I can't believe I'm even defending Obama, but like Obama's just released the money to them. That didn't cost us
And there was no
extra
enforcement.
money.
Yeah.
And he did, David. He didn't just release the money either. He did the exact same thing that Landy's pointing to. He, through a set of recommendations, he was going to release the money through Qatar to give to them. So the $1 billion is now exactly growing, and rather it's United States giving them money or unfreezing assets. Landy, you're saying the exact same thing. We are opening a wallet of somebody for them to go spend the money. So rather it's our tax dollars, which Obama didn't give them our tax dollars. He gave them unfrozen assets. There are $400 billion of assets that are still frozen that we're going to allow them to get. And let me tell you, Landy, the White House has confirmed that this will be part of the deal, is that they will get large sums of money for rebuilding. Now, it's not coming out of the United States taxpayer, and that is different. Words matter, my friend. Words matter, and they are correct.
They do.
They are not giving them money from the United States citizen. They're giving them money that we have frozen.
The frozen assets are $24 billion. It's not $300 billion. That's part of a reconstruction fund that the GCC floated. And that's not even sanctioned funds. That's actually funds that would come from primarily Saudi Arabia, which is offering those up as what is part of that. And this is
Has that
the
been confirmed yet? Or are you doing exactly what you just accused the mainstream media of doing?
No, this has been confirmed
So
via JD Vance.
that's confirmed by whom is what I'm asking.
JD Vance. JD
So when
Vance
JD
said
Vance
that
said it, it's
GCC
a real thing. Marco Rubio says it's not.
No. Marco Rubio didn't talk numbers. He talked about the frozen assets that are in Qatar is what he was referencing. And you can actually get the numbers from Qatar, at least what Qatar says that they have frozen, which is $24 billion.
But that's my thing, Landy. It's money going through. It's kind of in my mind.
I agree.
It's money
I
going
agree.
through other channels, which the United States is approving.
Okay.
So it's basically us releasing the money. It's not them. It's us saying you can release the money to them,
Because
and then that money gets funneled into Hezbollah and Hamas, and we're
agree.
back at the same fucking program. So
I
now,
agree.
my only, I'm not battling you, Landy. I'm just telling you that if this is the case, we went in there without military. We can wipe out anybody we want.
We can.
And we didn't. We're like 95% wiped out. Well, there's 5% left. And now how are they, in my mind, I'm thinking, how did they have the ball in their court here and they're dictating the rules?
Well, my point to you is I've said this from the very beginning. I never thought for one second that we were there to regime change. From day one, you can go back to when this kicked off and we were striking them before Trump even came out. You and I were talking about this here. And I said, I don't believe that we're there for regime change at all. I think this only has to do with the nuclear material. And my point, and I don't disagree with either one of you. In fact, I'm very well versed on this topic. As you know, we've been discussing it since it started and since before it started. But my contention has been that if Obama was going to do it the right way, he would have held them at the end of the sword. But he didn't. He gave them everything they wanted with no enforcement mechanism.
So,
And
Landy, I think that's an incorrect statement. You are saying exactly what you mean to say, and then you said without an enforcement mechanism. He did have an enforcement mechanism. That's what was supposed to be allowed, to have those independent people come in, survey, review, and monitor their uranium program. So when you're talking about it, it's just not the way you would prefer. You rather somebody hold a gun to their head effectively and
yeah,
say,
to
do what
persuade.
we tell you to do. They were trying to work on this, hey, diplomatic, hey, you do your part. We'll send in people to, oversee it and review. You don't like that. There's a difference. The words matter here, my friend.
Well,
Yeah, but
Just didn't like
Akil,
let
it.
me.
if you
Can
look at
I?
what Obama did, I mean, like they said okay, and they were like literally 3 seconds away from having a nuclear capabilities with that
I don't
approach.
know that to true. I don't know that to be true. The only person that's ever said that, like for the last 30 years, was Benjamin Netanyahu, and Bibi sucks. He's gonna
No,
lose
I
his
don't. I don't
election.
care what BB says. I'm just saying in
Well,
general, everybody.
can
I
I
mean, they said
ask
that
Uncle a question?
they didn't have missiles that can go past 2,000 miles, and they did. I mean, like these
Hey,
things are
hey,
true.
liars lie, baby. Liars
Well,
lie.
yes, they do. So I have a
I
question
rather
for
the
Unc.
approach of like we're on top of them and we know exactly what's happening versus having a lax approach. But my whole thing here is, and again, a lot of these things are just pushed out there for the time being. They're not confirmed. But if I'm going based on what Rubio said when he was in front of Congress, this whole 3-stage plan contingent on them agreeing and them having funds released from third party countries, it's the same as it's the United States giving the green light. So to me, it's like it's no different than what Obama did. It's just
It is.
you gave them back their
This
own
is where
money.
I disagree with both of you
No, but
guys.
hold on. I'm talking about the money aspect. You're giving them back their own money. Like
Yeah.
we don't want them to have anything. We crippled their economy. We did like. Why are we giving them back money so they can
Yeah.
do? We know exactly what they're going to do. Like they can tell you they're not building. They're not going to build a nuke. They're going to be building a nuke. Okay, they are going to find a mountain. They're going to
Yeah.
get into that mountain, and they're going to build a new facility to build a nuke.
Okay. Well, this
That's why I'm
is.
saying just level the fucking place. Like y'all might not even agree with me on this,
I
but
don't.
tell the people
I
to
don't
leave the
actually.
country, to give them a
Tell
warning of a
people.
month. You're
I'm
leveling
not
this
gonna hold
motherfucker.
on. You want the Iranian people to leave their country now? Like,
No,
hey,
no, no, no,
we're
no,
gonna
no, no. Hold on. I want them to leave temporarily out of the country because we're coming to level it. We're
and go
finishing
where?
it.
I mean, David, as
Where are they
much as I
going to
want
go?
to say, like, where are you
Kuwait,
gonna put?
wherever. Qatar.
Where do we
We're
put like
going to
100 million
set everything
people
up.
at a time?
It's
I
it's
mean,
a
We got
humanitarian disaster if that happens, and that was
we
yeah,
my
where are
got
you
point,
gonna send
Rob.
them?
what else can we this is why like nobody want this is why and like I hate going into this because I hate going into this topic because it like now it's like you're going against your own party. But you know what? I'm American. So at the end of the day, we have put ourselves in a position where like that's your only choice or you negotiate with terrorists.
No, well, we are
We're
negotiating with terrorists.
we're negotiating with terrorists now.
Yes.
Then that's
Yeah,
it.
right
Like
now.
and
So,
so like
so what's
here
the
we
difference?
are.
What's the difference?
So, well, here's the difference is you referenced the enforcement mechanisms that were built into the agreements. And look, you're a smart guy. You know how this goes, and you know exactly where I'm going to go next. The difference between then and now is that they didn't have, the military assets right at their doorstep ready to enforce. That's why Iran was able to get away with doing whatever they wanted and then kicking out inspectors and all of the rest because there was no teeth on the other side of that to actually enforce it militarily at gunpoint essentially, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that is the difference here. That is a big difference that I think that people are just poo-pooing. And the contention I think that David has is that we wouldn't do anything about it. And then maybe that's your contention as well. But I feel that this agreement isn't going to go anywhere because if we don't get the nuclear material, they're just going to continue to get hammered. And I think that a lot of this, is also optics, because I don't think the United States wants our military to hit the ground and end up in a same kind of situation that we were in GWAT, where around every single corner you've got a potential terrorist mixing in with the normal population. You also have a massive humanitarian issue with people that don't have anywhere to go. They don't. The people of Iran, the good people of Iran, have nowhere to go. And they're already being crushed economically. They were being crushed economically before the strikes, and it's only gotten worse. And now you've got these are the things that work in the IRGC's favor, right? And these are the things that they can say, we can risk our own people because we don't care. We can not give up our nuclear material because we don't care. We can not honor an agreement because we don't care. And the United States, if you look at a chessboard, if the United States chessboard is that we'll just keep pounding you with the military for as long as it takes, and we'll keep squeezing you. And unfortunately, the more we squeeze you, the more we squeeze the good people of Iran. And I think that actually is the reason why we're even going to the table, is because the people of Iran are suffering immensely. And there is power structures that are changing there in Iran. We don't know who they're dealing with. They made reference to a new president. So I'm very, Ghalibaf is the only hardliner that's been out there. We still haven't heard from this new Ayatollah, or even if we don't know. We are in a position as the public where there's so much that we don't know, that we can only evaluate based on, is it like Obama's deal or is it not? If you just purely look at the money, you could say, yes, you have a good case. But if you look at the enforcement mechanisms that Obama had in place versus what we have in place now, they're very different circumstances, and those do matter.
And again, I can listen to your point, and I can say that, full-heartedly, the enforcement mechanisms, yes, they are different. That is what you're trying to get to. But I like, David, I'm a history guy, right? And we always know that I like to point out things of our past. Up until September 2nd of 1945, Japan didn't surrender, and they ran out of bullets. What did they do? Kamikazes. They would find a way. And that is the dangerous part right now here of this regime in Iran, is that you have 40, 50 years of extremism baked into the heads of children, and now they're adults, now they're grandparents, and they bake the same thing in their children.
Yeah,
Landy,
I agree.
they do care. That's the point. They care so much that they will lay down their lives for what they've been told to believe. And that is more dangerous, in my humble opinion. That is more dangerous than us just saying, here, take a little bit of money, because now we've given them money and they have 50 years of anger, and they just got done getting bombed. So now everything that they were preached to is right. And now they're willing to go to the ends of the earth to make their fantasy or their idea of a new world order happen. And that is the terrifying part. So when I just push back, that is, they don't care. No, they care so much that they will lay down their lives. And us Americans, we do not. We don't. We're looking at this as, well, if they can't reach us, let them blow somebody up. That's the way Americans see it sometimes. And it's not the right thing to do. We have too many allies in that region. And on top of it, Iran has gained allies. Sleeper cells all around the world are watching what has been going on. Those sleeper cells are now going to say, send us some money. We'll handle that for you. We're not in the era. We're not in the era of guns and bombs anymore. This is drones and silent military strikes. There don't need to be people on the ground. There just needs to be a pager in your pocket, as Israel did. The pagers in your pocket. We're gonna defeat your sleeper cells by going after this analog technology. And now
you don't even have to worry about a deal, though, because you just mentioned Israel and the technology that they had when they gave pagers out to everybody.
Yeah,
which that was wild.
That was wild, by the way. That was incredibly wild.
But I don't believe Israel.
So apparently, from watching on a wire, just look at pager.
from reports that came out, Israel doesn't know anything about this deal because they weren't given any framework of the deal, and Israel is not. I know Israel is not going to allow for any deal to take place. Like their mind is set. BB's mind is set on the way I feel about BB is that number one, re-election's coming, so he's gonna have to continue to do some shit here, and I feel like you know. He's not agreeing to peace with Hezbollah. He's not going to agree to peace with Hamas, and he definitely doesn't want to see any sort of peace deal with Iran. We've known what he's done here. He's come here how many times? 3 decades, 4 decades, talking about everybody's 2 minutes away from getting a nuclear weapon, and 40 years later, still. So he's looking for destruction. Like he's looking to wipe them out, and that's why, like from that standpoint, also like okay, the only thing that's going to actually save the United States or Trump from actually opening up these frozen assets to Iran is Israel coming in and saying, fuck this, fuck your peace plan. We're coming in and we're taking them completely out. We're finishing the job. Maybe that's what's being negotiated behind the scenes. I'm just hypothetically speaking. Maybe it's, hey, we're leaving, and Israel is like, well, we're finishing. And maybe they know that.
What are they going to finish, though? Here's what, to Unk's point, which you have to understand, the point that I was making about IRGC leadership not even following their own mantra. But what they have done is they've indoctrinated an entire portion of their population in their ideology, even if they don't follow it. Right? Just like most ideologies, a lot of the people at the top don't follow the ideology. It's about power and control, and the power and control over people's minds. Israel can strike as many times they want. They can send troops in. You don't get rid of the ideology. You harden the hardliners, right? And this is something that we knew when we were in GWAT, right? And for those that don't, I had somebody ask me, "What is GWAT?" It's the Global War on Terror. That's the 20 years and so on and so forth that we were in the Middle East with American forces. So you have a very complex situation in the region that is not, by the way, it's not wholly unique to just Iran's leadership. There's that kind of the cells that they fund and the terrorist organizations that they're associated with are able to recruit people from other nations that fall in line with that ideology. It's not just it's the export and the enablement of that particular undercurrent of ideology that they're able to seize on. And I honestly believe that this, even if you didn't have an IRGC, I think that this would still be a problem. It would just be in a different area. And this goes back to obviously the Muslim Brotherhood and the funding of the Muslim Brotherhood. But why were they even able to find the extremists and fund them? Well, there was an undercurrent already there. So Israel can keep bombing. They can send troops in, which I doubt they would be able to do. But they can keep on with the campaign. But I don't see a split of resources being viable for them to battle in Hezbollah and Iran at the same time without the assistance of the United States. So I really do view it as they don't want this deal or any kind of a deal or agreement to be met, and they can try and stall that through strikes and stuff like that. But I don't think that they really are in a position of power in this case. There's some, obviously, the Jews run the world people will say, no, they control everything. So clearly this is going according to plan, and they're going to dance around a black cube now. But quite frankly, this is now, sorry, I had to throw a Saturn joke in there. But the point being is, I don't see this as Israel having the effect that I think you might have that you're proposing. I don't see them stalling anything going forward. The only ones that can stall it is the rejection of actually meeting any of these conditions.
I think the United States of America is going to, I think this might happen. I think if Israel, or I should say Bibi, because obviously he represents Israel.
Say Bibi,
he controls them.
His dumbass seems to be the one controlling everything.
There are a lot of Israelis that want to end all this stuff. I know that for a fact.
In Tel Aviv, there was a, whether your fans like it or not, one of my good friends was actually at Pride in Tel Aviv this past weekend. And he said there were so many Israelis out there, actively trying to get people to speak up and against the government. And this is at their pride, saying, "Look, guys, we got to end this war. It's messing up the economic situation. It's messing up travel. It's messing up destinations. Like, people are being impacted. This is why governments ultimately suck, because they're supposed to be the representative of their people, but their people are saying, well, we were able to live with, the Palestinians, and then, Bibi ignored his intelligence and allowed October 7th to happen.
You
Just
know, it's funny
allowed it.
when I tell people the story that is, it's not even a story, it's reality, that Israelis work together with Palestinians.
Yeah.
People are, no, it can't be true. I saw it on TV. No, it's actually true.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of them want to get back to a normal life, which they haven't had since October 7th. So like, there's, Bibi's here, and he's like, again, like, when I think the United States of America, if Bibi does anything to ruin any deal that's on this table, I think Trump's out. Like, I really am going to say that I think the administration's going to say, you know what, you're on your own on this one, because we asked you. I think Trump is getting irritated already. He's getting irritated by two things. One, he's trying to close a deal. He wants, like, the Abraham Accords, all that stuff. He wants that. He wants to be the guy who brought the region together, kind of thing. And also, I don't think Trump, his ego, doesn't like the fact that people say that Bibi owns him and Bibi tells him what to do.
After
You
that
can
phone
see the
call, apparently
frustration
doesn't.
lately with Trump. Like, he's probably one of the first sitting presidents have been really, like, it's weird. He's very close to Israel, but now he's been saying, like, it's more towards Bibi. Like, I'm not fucking with this. Like, and I think that's an ego thing also. Like, he's tired of being called his bitch. Like, that's what the
David.
media is putting out there. And if you think Trump doesn't watch fake news, he does. If he doesn't get clips of fake, he gets all this, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like those memes of him pushing the
He was
chair in
on the
for
phone.
Bibi.
He was on the phone with Bibi, and he said, "You'd be in jail if it wasn't for me. You'd be on trial right now if it wasn't for me. Shut up."
And he's right.
And you're not dictating this. And you know what? I agree. Bibi probably should be in jail. He should be in jail, not even about this war. Some other corruption stuff that happened long ago. It's got nothing to do with this war. So it's it's actually corruption that he was actually convicted of in Israel.
Yes.
So Bibi is,
I just honestly,
you
got to
that's
get younger.
different.
What did I say? You got to get younger politicians that understand both sides to align with each other, sit at a desk, and bring some sort of peace.
Can I ask you both a question, to both of you? Because, and it's surrounding this particular topic, because you both kind of fall on different sides of the aisle, yet see eye to eye on a lot of things. And I think that we all here see eye to eye on many different things, just have a different take. But one of the concerns that I've had, and this is a personal concern that I have about the Abraham Accords, and you can see where this is all going. And this is, essentially, Trump's goal through the Abraham Accords is to cut the Western Europe cords in the Middle East and have them essentially manage themselves, right? And you can see even through the proposals in this agreements, through the Gulf States stuff, through how they're handling negotiations and when and where. I think that the more that I've seen this play out throughout this process, that the Gulf nations managing themselves in about 50 years comes home to roost for all Western nations in a very negative way. The Saudis are very smart. They play both sides of the aisle all the time, whether it's between East and West. They have a vested interest in expanding that then pulls in the nation, the Islamic government, specifically the IRGC government out of Iran. you now have essentially a coalition superpower of Middle Eastern nations that will eventually rise against the West. That is actually one of the things that where the Abraham Accords, yes, are good for maybe peace temporarily, maybe negotiations temporarily and economic growth, but that then it comes home to roost because of the fundamental differences in ideology, specifically in religious ideology.
Well, I was expecting mayhem, to be honest. I was expecting Unk to go crazy. I was expecting Landy to go crazy, but none of that happened. So that means that what catches my eye here is obviously, like, I would say that Unk here is closer to being a Democrat. He's gonna fucking wild out now than he is to being a Republican, and that's okay. This is the first time I'm sitting here right now where we might disagree on little things, but we're all, yeah, I see that. We're all in agreement somewhat on this situation. Like, there is, like, at the core, we're in agreement. And I would say that we're in, like, if there is money that's unfrozen that goes to Iran,
It's a bad deal.
this would, from an optics point of view, it would look bad. I'm just saying, like, it will look, no matter how you frame it, whether, oh, Qatar gave them the money, that no, you ultimately said yes, because everybody's listening to the United States of America. Nobody's listening to Qatar ain't doing shit unless America's saying so. So it cannot be, oh, they gave them back their money. No, the United States of America gave them back the money.
Yeah, we're allowing them to operate with this cash, David, and that is a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing. What could you do with $400 billion? Because you know what? You don't need that to rebuild your country. I know you don't.
And they're not going to do that. That's the whole point. They're not going to rebuild infrastructure.
No,
they're
it's
going
not
to take
like they're
the money.
sending out stimulus checks to all the Iranian people.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
The stimulus
That's how
checks,
they're doing it.
they're going to be sending stimulus checks, but to the people that cause havoc, not only to Americans, but to every goddamn religion and race, man. Like, these people do not care. They do not. Iran does not give a flying fuck. And that's my thing. Like, you cannot, if there's one thing that Rob says, and I don't agree with Rob on a lot of things, but if there's one thing that he says, it's like, yo, you go in there, you said you wanted to bomb, fucking power plants and bridges, you do that. You go ahead and tell them that you're not fucking around. Like, at some point, the United States of America says, we ain't fucking around. I'm not saying injure any civilians. I'm talking about take out certain positions that cripples them, and then they say, you know what? Whatever you want, we'll do. Like,
David,
we don't have them. I don't believe we have them at the whatever you guys want, we'll assign it. Okay? We don't have it. And we're allowing
40,000 Iranians dead. There are 40,000 Iranians dead.
But that's because of the regime. That has nothing to do with the
regime. Oh, don't just blame the regime, though. Don't blame the regime.
If you're going to talk about in the 70s that the West brought in this regime, we can have that.
No, not that. I'm talking about the money that was given to the incels in Iran to try to take out the government in the first place. They gave money.
There's another thing that I talk about that I believe. I really do believe the administration thought that the people would rise up. Like, I think that I'm not saying somebody's going to twist my words around. Well, I know this is going to happen. I think this game plan included the rising of the people.
They were hoping for Arab Spring, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, 100%, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, because 40,000.
Not that they don't want. I don't think it's not that the people didn't want to; they couldn't.
Yeah, look,
you're not dealing with those are the countries that we're talking about, like Iraq, and like you could do it there. Here you have Iran has really built something. I got to tell you, this terroristic regime really built a really good defense system against.
Isn't that what indoctrination does, David? Isn't that what it does?
Yeah, but 90% of the people want this fucking government gone, right? But they can't do nothing.
David, I want this government gone. I want them to,
Oh,
but
here we go.
I think of it through elections. I
You
think of
make
it.
money. You make money. You
Well, just me
know
and you
the
know.
craziest thing about you, you make all your money with Trump
I
in
made it.
office.
Listen,
Yeah, you want Biden back
I
in.
made money with both people.
No,
I
you
made money
made
with
more
listen,
money
David.
with Trump in
I
office
have made
than
money
you
under
have
both
with Biden.
administrations.
Don't start with me, okay?
Well, you know what?
Exactly.
So Dave,
Exactly.
as you know what, David, you were my last show that I did before I went to Europe for about 4.5 months. And during that time, I sat with Iranians, I sat with Venezuelans, I drank with Cubans and Puerto Ricans, all who were there in Spain seeking asylum. So I hear you, but when you listen to them and those people who are asylum seekers and migrants in those nations, and they're telling you their stories, they're saying the difference is that when you build up a groundswell naturally, people will follow. I mean, you've got to give it to the what is it?
Yeah, but there's been a natural.
Hungry.
There has been an organic rally from the Iranian people. They've been begging, so they begged the United States to come and do this. I've had them on my show. They
Well,
begged
some
for
people
this.
were excited that we did it, but then it's like, then what? That's the problem with not only our administration, but the way they handle their negotiations. It's shoot from the hip first, and then decide what you want. And that's where I say we as Americans can't afford that. We got wrecked by inflation under the last administration. The last two administrations had everything to do with wrecking our. Yes, they did.
Stop.
COVID,
Stop.
whatever. I don't care. Last two
Stop.
administrations in my mind.
Stop. You know, it was
We are
Biden.
now looking at
9%
rising gas
inflation,
prices.
13% inflation. That was all Biden, bro.
I'm getting, David, I'm planning another trip overseas. I've got a nomad visa, and I'm thinking, do I really want to go? Because of what you can't shoot from the hip and expect the world to thank you. You can't do that. And we have to be very clear on
This is
our
where
message.
we get ourselves in trouble, because after we do a good thing, they always want us to get the fuck out. Like, can we make this about America one time, about us for once?
Yeah.
Like, about taking care of our people for once. And it doesn't matter who's in office. I'm telling you, can we focus on us for once? Like, we're always giving foreign aid to everybody. Look, Biden helped Ukraine. Okay, I know how you might feel. You might sound. At the end of the day, we need to stay out of these things. And I know they have fucking pictures on him, man. Like, no doubt about it. That's why we went ahead and supplied. You know that too.
Sleeping?
How does
sleeping?
fucking
They got pictures of sleeping?
How does Hunter Biden get a job? Come on. We're not stupid. Come on.
How does anyone get a job? It's who you know and who you blow.
I get it. But at the end of the day, man, America, our infrastructure is falling apart. By the way, I went to Maryland.
Well, maybe we shouldn't.
Maryland.
We shouldn't, David. That's a different. Maybe we shouldn't have fucking a reality TV star, Sean Duffy, or Pete. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Budapest from a county that
I think he's done a great job. I think he's done a hell of a job.
Fuck both of those guys, Pete and Sean. Can
I ask you a question? Can you imagine if Biden or let me say Kamala Harris is president right now?
No.
All right, no problem.
Landy,
hold on. You stay here. Landy, obviously, always a fucking pleasure to have you on. You guys missed out on Landy's market update. It aired at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and catch it. Landy, as always, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, David. Thanks for having me on. It was good to talk to you, Unc. I know we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I think that we had a fairly good conversation. So
all good,
appreciate you, David.
Yep. Hey, happy Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some mental health help after this. So, but
Landy
thanks, Unc.
is-
I appreciate you.
I love you, Landy.
Later, bro.
Take care, guys. Much love.
Tools.
Oh, look, yo, and we didn't even get older. We didn't even get older.
We look the same.
Yo, run
We look the same.
it back. Somebody played like the first fucking breakdown. We didn't get older. I look. I'm a Republican, and this it's hard. You know why? Because when I say things that I don't want to say, I'm just giving my own personal feedback. And right away, not Landy or anybody, but there are others that'll say you're panicking, or like, oh my god, like no, like you're allowed. Look, I agree with, and you don't, but like I agree with 90% of the things that Trump has done. Like I agree with them. The 10%, I've already made it known. I don't like when he goes on social media and like he starts acting, wild. You are the president. At the end of the day, I don't like that. But it is what it's. That's who he is, and that's who we elected. At the end of the day, that is who we elected into office. You can't. Do not for 1 second. Okay, sit there and try to act like you are fucking happy that he's back, because
I said happy birthday to the president.
your wallet's bigger. Okay, so stop it.
Nah, my wallet's not that great right now after this market crash.
Say that
And
again?
This happened. The market crash happened when I was overseas, David, and I was pissed. I'm looking at it going, well, there goes,
What market crash? What are you talking about?
Well, when the crypto, when we saw
What are you talking about? Crypto?
the crypto pullback.
Am I breaking up? Hold on. Am I breaking up, or is it me or you?
Well, you froze from my end a couple times, and Landy said it too, but
It has to be me.
like right now you're freezing.
This sucks.
Is it restream? I can hear you.
What? I hear you. We continue.
So yeah.
No, it's you breaking up. It's not me.
You break up every 30
It's not
seconds.
you who's breaking up.
You break up every 30 seconds. I'm right next to the router.
Say that again.
I'm right next to the router.
No, it's you breaking up.
You broke up too.
Yo, come back in. Like reset. Come back in.
All right, I'll be right back.
I think it's. Hold on. I'll look. Hold on. Let me look. Could it be me? I don't think it's. Could it be me? It actually could be me. That sucks. It's probably me. Holy fuck. And I don't know why it's me. Anyway, just want to tell everybody thank you. This sucks because I wanted to actually talk to and now I don't see him. Do you see me, bro? Doesn't fucking see me. God damn it. What the hell is happening? Am I, bro? Yo, am I live here, or is he frozen, or is it just